Faith, what is it? I think faith is a dialogue. It's a dialogue where you engage with something or someone and begin to trust that person over a period of time. So it's a dialogue of trust, faith. It is to some extent appealing and to a body of knowledge or accepting authority and coming to a conclusion as a result of that. Now, this is not surprising only, or doesn't exist only in the world of faith. Even science is, to some extent, a dialogue where one scientist, as I said earlier in my previous video, one scientist dialogues with the work of another scientist and then uses that to come to certain conclusions in his own work. So even in that sense, science also is a dialogue between scientists. So faith, similarly, is a dialogue between what you know and what you want to know more. But how do we come to this conclusion? How do we find faith, or how do we arrive at faith? There are two ways to do this. Traditionally, people have always thought that there are two ways to arrive at faith. One is through reason, the other is through revelation. For example, in theology, when you study Jesus' life, his death, and even his crucifixion, much of it can be arrived purely through reason, through just studying history. But then to believe that Jesus is God, that takes revelation. Similarly, even God's arguments for God's existence. You have St. Thomas Aquinas, who has attempted that, to arrive at the existence of God purely through reason, through the several arguments, his very famous 5 arguments for God's existence. Overall, there are approximately 20 arguments for God's existence, but St. Thomas Aquinas has come up with really interesting 5 arguments for God's existence. Now, that can be arrived purely through reason. But now to believe in God, that takes revelation. And so faith is a combination of these two, revelation and reason. And that's how we arrive at faith.